Hello, South Asians. You know, just the other day, my parents were having a discussion on old versus new, on how the world has changed, on how South Asia especially has changed the kind of attention that it's garnering from the world and from the West these days. So I had to take upon this task, just out of sheer curiosity, to go out and find people, you know, those who are young, those who are successful, those who are South Asians, those who live in South Asia. Welcome, Joshua.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
My pleasure. How would you define South Asian?
As far as I'm concerned, South Asia would be, in a general sense, it seems like a contradiction. But for me, it's home, where the ancient and the present, the modern and the mediocre and everything actually, it's a big pot of getting together.
It's a melting point.
It's a melting point,
right.
yeah.
And then, I guess then the contradiction doesn't exist if you utilize the fact that it's a melting point. Yeah. And you personally would be, I think, probably the best person to showcase that, because you're an artist, you're a filmmaker, you are quite a traveler, you play different instruments. I think the drummer being your favorite from what I heard.
I just play drums, yes.
Okay, you only play drums,
yeah.
All right. How do you manage to get so much? I mean, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 3 decades old now.
Okay, lovely. So in 3 decades, you don't count the first 15 years, right? After that, so you've had all this, 15 years of your life, and yet so much to do. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, I think I'm inspired very much by the fact that there's a good creator who's created things out of love. And I believe that, when you're connected with the one who's created, he just wants you to enjoy all the spheres. So whether you're talking art, whether you're talking music, whether you're talking travel, and travel for the sake of meeting people, not just to click pictures and upload on Facebook or whatever. It's more to connect with people, and everything else. It's more to actually enjoy and savor the goodness of a good creator. So that's how I see it.
So you're using technology not to alienate yourself socially, but to interact more socially.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And you have had quite a special relationship with God personally. Yeah. How did all that start? Because most people that I meet in the glam world, or in today's generation, as we would be accused of, we are told that you guys are very casual. Yeah. You're not as spiritual. You don't take the definition of God and creation and the Creator very seriously. But here you are, who has a different picture on that.
I think if you're talking about God has to be God of all, or not a God at all.
Right.
So for me, the revelation happened in the sense that God is not a God who's of one particular place, but he's not in music, or he's not in art, or he's not in motorcycle, or traveling up the Himalayas or whatever. So I believe in a God who's a universal God, a God who's created the entire universe. So I don't separate him from a Sunday morning worship, and then on Monday he's not there, so he's non-existent. So for me, the dichotomy or the contradiction doesn't exist.
So it's like not having a God just for a particular nation, or towards a particular race, or a particular people, or a tribe that shares the same language, but a God and creator of all beings, of the whole world, of South Asia, of each individual and everybody that we come in connection with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So once you realized that you had a curiosity for art,
yes,
which was the first medium that you poured it out on?
See, as a child, I used to doodle everywhere, and I enjoyed drawing, actually copying a lot of the cartoon characters.
Okay.
And then I moved on. People discovered that was amusing. And naturally, art is something which is tangible. People can see, and they can go, oh, wow, this is really good. Right. And naturally, child thrives with appreciation. So
you were telling me that you didn't have a television when you were growing up. That was interesting.
Yeah, I grew up in rural North India.
Right.
And where we didn't have TV, which, I think, naturally, we're on a television show here, so I don't want to
go into the details.
The viewers, please watch this. But I think for me, growing up, I had to come up with creative ways to keep myself entertained.
No, it's very interesting because you grew up in a time when there was no TV.
That is true.
So you were inclined to find ways to, come out and exude your curiosity, your art, your sense of whatever it was that, made you get going. And now It is the same technology.
Yes.
It is texting, is it mobile phones, it is Facebook.